Last night I dreamed I was surrounded by old people, and we were just standing around for a while, and eventually someone opened a door and we all started filing into this school gymnasium, and there weren't any chairs in there for us. We all just sat on the floor, and we waited for a couple of minutes, and somebody started playing some music, and then a door opened to my left and some children came out single file, and they started performing this musical number for us. I'd never heard it before, and there was one little girl. She was the last one to come out of the door. She was late. Like, all of the other kids had already started singing and dancing to the music, and I felt bad for her because she didn't know where to begin. Like, she had lost her place, and she didn't know how to just dive into the musical, and her mouth was agape, and she just started crying, and then she ran out of the gymnasium. I felt really bad for this little girl. And then once the kids were done singing and dancing, they only performed one song. We all stood up, filed out of the gymnasium, and we went to the cafeteria. It was a school cafeteria. I don't remember what I ate, but I sat down and I noticed to my right, just a few feet over, was a high school teacher of mine, Miss Hughesney, and I pretended like I didn't see her. I didn't want to talk to her because she's dead, and I just couldn't believe that she was sitting there and eating, and I didn't really like her to begin with, but she really is dead, and I didn't understand how she could be here, so I didn't feel like talking to a corpse teacher. But she recognized me. She leaned over and she kept saying my name. She's like, "Josh, Josh, Josh." Finally I had to acknowledge her. I said, "Yes," and we made eye contact, and she's like, "It's me, Miss Hughesney." And I said, "Oh yeah, oh, it's nice to see you again, Miss Hughesney." And that was it. I just finished my... Actually, I remember now. It was French fries and ketchup. Yeah, it was French fries and ketchup. Alright, this doesn't have anything to do with my dream, but I just saw an article, this was yesterday, that somebody had retweeted on Twitter. And it was a list. It was 5 sexy things guys do without even knowing it. And one of them was putting your thumb on your lower lip. And I do that a lot. Like when I'm watching a movie or I'm just really deep in thought, I just, I do that. And I'm just curious. I'm going to poll you, my subscribers. I want to hear from all of my female viewers or my gay viewers. I mean, is this, if I were to do this a lot, would it turn you on? I mean, I don't know if that article's accurate or not. I think that's weird. I do that a lot, and now I don't know if I should do it more often, or if, now that I'm aware of it, I'll do it less. I don't know. But anyways, getting back to my dream. After we finished eating, we all stepped outside, and we were like out in the sticks, out in the boonies, whatever way you want to put it. There's no civilization. There's just this school out in the middle of nowhere. And the first thing I noticed when I walked outside was how the kids had gotten to the school. They were like a traveling musical troupe, and each one of them traveled in like their own private I think they're called horse stalls on wheels, and they were all linked together and pulled by a tractor. It looked like a miniature, like old-timey carnival train from the early 20th century that, like, the freak show performers would travel in, and there were paintings on each one of the horse stalls that they traveled in, and I looked at this little mini carny train, and I felt bad for the kids for a second. I thought, wow, that looks like really poor travel conditions. And then I looked off in the distance, and see, I was about to do it again, the thumb on the lip thing. I looked off in the distance, and I noticed a fighter jet that was being pulled by a couple of Air Force Jeeps. You know, there's a bungee cord. The two Jeeps had bungee cords, you know, attached to the fighter jet, and they were pulling this fighter jet through a bean field. I don't know why. Nobody around me seemed to notice. Nobody said anything about it. I just thought that was odd. So I stood around there for a little bit, watched the fighter jet slowly roll through the bean field, and then we all filed into a huge barn where there was going to be a screening of Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, which I was excited about. I love that movie. I grew up with that one. I got in there, and they had folding chairs for us in there. I looked at those, and I'm about to do it again. I had folding chairs in there, and I thought, wow, this movie is almost 2 hours long. Like, sitting in these folding chairs for that length of time, it's not going to be very comfortable. But I sat toward the back, and this girl that I work with, I've worked with her for many years, it turns out she was there this whole time. I hadn't noticed her until now, and she sat down beside me, and the movie started playing, and then she grabs my hand, and she starts holding my hand and like clenching it tight. It was just really, it was kind of awkward, you know. I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. It was just weird, you know. Very unexpected, and I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to, you know, to be shushed by all of the old people, the sea of old people that I was in. But yeah, it was awkward, and then that's when my alarm clock went off. I woke up. I had to get ready for work, so.